It's Sunday. I am off. Just came off of a 3-day stretch. 3 days, 12-hour shifts in a row, 2 in the ICU, 1 in the step-down unit. Ended my shift last night helping out in a code. I think I mentioned it in my last vlog. So today is my recovery day. It's 10:55 a.m. to be exact. I just pulled up in front of one of my friend's house. I came here because they had a fight party last night, and I think it was a boxer from Baltimore or something that was in the fight. I don't know nothing about them things. So they had all this food and cake. So I'm here because I want a piece of cake. Nobody is eating broccoli salad this time of the morning. I came here strictly for the cake. I can't believe you have 3 cakes. This is just so you. Go ahead, sis. Cause which flavor is this one? Obviously, this one was the favorite. This one and the strawberry cake. No one wants the broccoli salad, Sheens. Mission accomplished. Now headed to my next task. I didn't show my friend on camera because she had just woke up. So as a good friend, I'm not going to show my friend when she's not at her best. But this is the same friend, the one that's a nurse anesthetist, the one that went viral on all of the social media platforms when she was asked about a nurse anesthetist salary. That was her. This was long overdue. I haven't washed my car in like a month. I am always super embarrassed to come to the car wash because the way inside of my car is ridiculous. And I'm like, I hope these people are not judging me. I have more priority things to worry about. So every month or every couple of weeks or so, I don't mind spending the $40 to get it washed and clean. It is Monday. Right now, I just pulled up in front of the nail salon because my toes are out of control. Just like that, I am out the nail salon. 25 minutes. That is why I love being off during the week, especially on a Monday morning and a Tuesday morning. Everyone else is at work, so I love it. I didn't record my toes getting done because I don't like recording the technicians when they're working. I just got a call back from a recruiter who is trying to pursue me for a full-time position in a specialty or in an area that I've never worked in. And that is, it's more so psychiatry because it deals with eating disorders and people with anxiety and depression. I'm actually considering going for it simply because I can't handle working at the bedside anymore. Physically, it's becoming a lot, and I find myself getting home from work exhausted. I have to either take Motrin or Tylenol midway through the shift, at the beginning of the shift, and sometimes at the end. Like just one time. I must take some form of pain killer to help manage all of the aches and the physical wear down that comes with being a nurse at the bedside. Good morning. It's Thursday on my way into work. The last time I was on here was Monday. But y'all know my life is not that exciting. I don't have much going on outside of school and work. I start my 3-day stretch today. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I just called the staff in office and they're like, yeah, we're sending you to the ER. And I'm like, okay, here we go. As long as they give me patients who are just boarding, I can get with it because an ER nurse, I am not. There's so many things about the ER that I just can't wrap my mind around. It's so much movement. It's way too busy. It's always something going on. There's different areas that you can work in. I like consistency and I like keeping my patients all shift long. Even if they decline or whether they're progressing, I need to keep the same set of patients. The ER nurses are used to like passing patients. Take them and pass them, take them and pass them, stabilize and pass. I'm not that kind of nurse. Donuts line, and the line is long as I don't know what. I did have my own cup of coffee, but it was tasting really blah. Like it wasn't giving me any vibes. So I dumped it and I'm like, let me just stop at Dunkin' Donuts and get a large coffee. Living in my dreams, 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 living in my dreams. I had a dream last night. Did everything I never do in real life. I stepped into a room, told everyone to be quiet, cause I had something to say, blew everybody away with whatever I... What's up, y'all? It's Sunday night, and this vlog was almost not going to happen. But I said, let me just wrap it up. I know it's a very short vlog, but I've been busy. Your girl is trying to catch up on schoolwork. That's what I'm doing right here. And then I just got off, not just got off, but you guys know I usually work 3 12s in a row, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that already puts me out. But I want to start taking clinical experiences, things that I experienced within the clinical setting, and present it to nursing students and maybe new grad nurses, those of you who watch my content, to use them as a teaching point so that way you in practice won't make the same mistake, or you can help prevent certain things from happening with other nurses and their patients. One of the things I want to touch on right now before I close this vlog out is the use of restraints on patients. So sometimes in the clinical setting, we have patients who, unfortunately, we have to restrain. We have nonviolent restraints and we have violent restraints. Kind of self-explanatory. Nonviolent restraints are usually for patients who are trying to climb out of the bed, patients who are pulling at lines and tubes, patients who, if they pull something, it can cause a detriment in their health or, just create havoc. Then we also have violent restraints where patients are either homicidal, suicidal, and need to be restrained, okay? The violent restraints are definitely stronger and requires more assessment. The point I want to get across to nurses on here is that restraints are not meant to be forever. The first thing I want to outline is that when a patient is in restraint, when you have the patient's wrist restraint, that patient is unable to be discharged from the hospital. So the longer the restraints stay on, the longer the length of stay. So as a nurse, when you're taking care of a patient that's in bilateral wrist restraints, you always want to assess whether or not the restraints are needed so that way you can discontinue the use of the restraint. You must always be able to have an exact reason as to why your patient is in restraint. For example, if I'm running charge, or if I'm the provider, or if I'm a family member, and I come to you and I say, why is my family member, why is this patient is in restraints? You must have a concrete reason that is documented as to why this patient is in restraints. Saying things like, I don't know, or I'm afraid he might do this, or he keeps moving his arms all over the place. Those are not concrete reasons. You have to be able to prove that this patient is going to jeopardize their care. The patient is either going to be a fall risk, or the patient is going to pull some kind of tube that's not going to benefit them. So you want to be able to justify it. If you're caring for a patient and the patient is calm, and you've been watching this patient, and you're like, this patient is not doing anything, discontinue the restraints. There are other options you can use that's not as restrictive. For example, some institutions have elbow immobilizers where you can put like, I don't know how to call it. It's like a cardboard. It basically prevents the patients from bending their arms like this. It doesn't need a physician order, and you don't have to do the consistent monitoring of the patients as you would if the patient were in soft wrist restraints. Sorry, I hope I didn't confuse you guys. The point that I'm trying to make is restraints should not be forever. You want to continuously assess your patient, and as soon as the patient is deemed safe, or the patient is no longer pulling, the patient has an improvement in mental status, you want to go ahead and discontinue the restraint. If the patient is still somewhat unsafe, you can try using non-restrictive methods. Like I said, the elbow immobilizers, open mitts. If the patient's a picker, like, picking at things, picking at the IV, you want to give them things in their hands so that way they can keep busy and not picking. You want to try to remove as much equipment from the patient to reduce the agitation, so that way they're not trying to pull. But restraints are not meant to be forever. I think I'm going to do a series of like educational clinical scenarios that I've seen that I think will be beneficial to a lot of like nursing students and, like I said, new grad nurses. But I know I was just rambling on because of a situation I saw yesterday within the clinical setting, but that's it. I need to get back to putting these case logs in. I will catch up with you guys in another video. More than likely, it's going to be a sit down video because I have some stories for you all. Bye.